G'day everyone, Daniel Anderson here, Partner Manager and Product Evangelist for Valo. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at a few of the governance features around Valo Teamwork. Now, as you can see on the screen here, I'm looking at my Teamwork dashboard inside of Microsoft Teams. Now, let's take a look at one of the templates. Now, I've got a template here called a retail shop template. And let's take a look at what we've got to fill out in order to create this workspace. So we've got some options here around privacies and titles and group descriptions. We can add our group owners and our group members, even set a classification here of this team. But let's say we want to have mandatory owners or a minimum number of owners, or even mandatory members or a minimum number of members for every single retail shop team that gets created. Let's have a look at how we can go about achieving that. So inside of the Valo Teamwork admin site collection here, I'm just going to jump into templates, and you can see my list of templates. I'm going to now select the retail template and I'm going to edit this. You can see I've got some general options here. I can choose an icon or upload my own image. But here, under privacy and membership, is where I can set some additional governance features and settings here. I can choose whether this is by default public or private. I can also allow the end user to be able to select. So let's say in this retail example, let's say we always want this to be a private team. So I'm going to set that to private. And I am going to show that just to indicate to the user that they are creating a private team. Then underneath this, I've got the option here to be able to allow or not allow, or allow the end user to select whether external users are to be a part of this team. All right, so I'm just going to leave that there. Now, under the membership tab here, what we can do here is we can set a minimum number of owners. So I'm going to select 2. So every time that a retail shop team is created, it has to have a minimum number of 2 owners. I'm also going to set a mandatory owner here, and I'm going to do the same thing with members. I'm going to set 2 minimum, the number of members to be 2, but I'm also now going to say, right, Megan needs to be a member of every single retail shop site or team that gets created. And I'm now going to save that. All right, so now let's jump back into the Teams dashboard. And what we're going to do now, I'll just refresh this screen. And we're going to go through the process now of creating a new retail shop. So once this is loaded, I'm going to click on New Group or Site, and I'm going to select the retail shop template. We'll click Next, and you can see here that the privacy setting is grayed out. I've got the mandatory group owner of Alex. I've got the option here to be able to add additional group owners, but because remembering that we had a minimum number of 2, because I'm creating this, I'm automatically going to be added as the owner. So that means that we've got 2 owners. You'll see here that remembering I set the minimum number of members needs to be 2 as well. All right, so what we might do here is we'll put in another member, and you can see that Nesta now has been added as a group member, and that little indicator has now gone because I've reached the minimum number. All right, so what we can do now, let's just add this, and we'll give it a title, and let's now create and go through that process. This finish button has now been activated. We can click finish, and now this new retail shop has been created for me. It goes through an approval process, and then all the assets are created automatically. So there we have it, some great governance features as part of Valo Teamwork to make your creation and provisioning of Microsoft Teams a lot more secure.